Hello, everyone. This is reporter Samana Sheikh with Samana Sheikh TV. And today joining me is African fashion entrepreneur Ify Madu. Can you please introduce yourself a little bit more?
Hi, everybody. So I am Ify Yvonne Madu. I have my own African-inspired line of loungewear. Business person. I'm also a pharmacist. I'm a mom and a wife. So yeah, I'm just, living the American dream, pursuing all things that I can. There's nothing wrong with exploring all your passions.
You're wearing like six different hats, and at the same time, you're going forward with this fashion industry. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
My sister and I, we had this idea when we were still in school. So my sister was in medical school and I was in pharmacy school. And we said, okay, one day we're going to finally launch this, line of something that we've been talking about since we were little. And my grandmother was actually a top fashion designer in Nigeria in the 70s. So it's not unusual that we're here, doing this, but it's a African print inspired line of loungewear. My sister and I wears we love anything comfy and cozy, so we're homebodies. So mixing that with our culture was something that we really wanted to do. And it's been great since. It's fun to display and showcase our culture, and inviting people into, experiencing everything that come from everywhere. So it's been hard but fun on this journey.
Yeah, I bet. And I know that you probably faced a lot of hardships bringing like the different styles to a different type of crowd. Can you talk to me a little bit about some of those struggles and how you guys started off and where you started off?
Yeah, so so the African print is mainly manufactured on like wax cotton, like wax fabric. And it was trying to one of our initial struggles was, okay, how do we, create fabric that's, comfy and, works well with pajamas and robes. So it takes a lot. So that made us go into manufacturing because we had to manufacture it. So there was that. And then after it was, making styles that would fit everybody and really bringing the most vibrant prints that, that are out there in the African culture. So but we meticulously pick the prints that come out, because we want it to be bright and vibrant, eye catching and stuff like that. And then we are self, I wouldn't say self-studied, but we're degreed science nerds. You know what I mean? So we have no background in business or anything like that. So a lot of what we have, a lot of our skills that we've, strengthened and developed, I would say half of it is by genes because we're like Nigerian Igbo women. If you ever hear about Nigerian Igbo women, we're great business women. So it was in my genes. So all of our products are made and shipped from Ohio. And my sister, she's based in Pennsylvania, and we just launched a line of natural hair care products. So the natural hair care products are manufactured and shipped out of Pittsburgh, PA, and all the sleepwear is shipped out of Ohio.
Talk to me a little bit more about the prints itself. I know that there is one called Ankara. Is that correct?
The Ankara prints, that's like the name that is given to all the types of prints, in Nigeria. And in Ghana, they have like the iconic kente print. So a lot of people that are mainly like Ghanaian, like if you lump the kente print in Ankara, they have their own name. So we make sure that when we're displaying and selling our kente print, we call it kente, and then all the other prints are Ankara prints.
And what is the major difference between kente and ankara exactly? Because I know you're saying it's all the prints, but if you were to look at a kente print, how would you know it was different?
Yeah, so the kente is a lot of like geometric, I would say like lines and shapes. Now with Ankara, it can be like all types of things. They can have like animals, and be like roosters and horses. It can be like shapes like circles. It can be like feathers, peacock feathers. Like there's so much variation. Like I don't even know where all these prints and like why they chose those certain animals to represent whatever, started from. So I feel like eventually I'll need to learn the actual history of the prints and Did they mean anything?
And you know, one thing that I really appreciate you and your sister for is bringing this unique culture to the US. I know for a fact with myself, I had to look up what Ankara prints were and actually like educate myself a little bit more.
Yeah,
And I wish that this would be more, I guess it would just be in malls, like where you could go to a mall and you could buy these prints just right
yeah,
there. Like, I feel like a lot of times when it comes to culture, people often don't know what the typical culture is with different types of countries in Africa because there are different types of like dresses
yeah.
and styles throughout Africa and each country. So it's interesting to see the differences. In Egypt, they have a whole different style.
Oh,
In Sudan, they have a whole different style. Ghana, different. Kenya, different. But people don't think about that.
there's so many countries within the continent, and within the country, there's so many different cultures within one country. So, yeah, it's
Exactly.
a lot.
Literally a melting pot, and that's what I was trying to say. So many different countries, each with a different style, but people often don't think about that because they're like, "Oh, everybody like probably dresses the same."
Yeah,
No, you got to think hard. Just it's not like America and Canada. It's
yeah,
not like that.
yeah, definitely. And even in like the Nigerian culture, I'm Igbo, but the Igbo dressing, traditional dressing, is different than the Yoruba dressing, and we're all in the same country. So different styles. Like when you see a like a typical traditional Yoruba, outfit, it's Yoruba. But then when you see Igbo, the same thing. So it's like very different, but we're all in the same country, and then we speak many different languages. So
And that's beautiful. Now, going off of that, how do you feel introducing that here in the US, in Ohio, and across the United States?
I love it because it's I feel like it's a long time coming. I really feel like it's happening now within the past few years where the African culture has a more positive light and a lot of people are embracing it more. Like non-Africans are embracing it more, especially in music and now in like fashion. Because, we have like Beyonce that's, getting dressed by these, African designers in Ankara prints, and she's wearing it in her music videos and on the red carpet. So now I feel like that Ankara is coming into the fashion world in the US. And then now I'm seeing a lot of non-Africans wearing Ankara prints just in everyday life. So it's good. Like I love it. And I hope I was one of those people that helped bring, the prints to the US and make people feel comfortable and even, excited and even seeking out different African designers to wear their stuff. Because when we started, I did get a lot of questions from like non-Africans, like, "Oh, is it okay if I wear, is it okay if I'm not African but I wear this?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, that's why we're here. We're here to spread and educate and like, have everyone learn about the culture." So,
Of course, and I'm glad that you mentioned Beyonce because I was about to point out the fact that she has been wearing a lot of Ankara prints. And coming from a fashion entrepreneur like yourself, I bet it does make you super happy. And maybe one day, you never know, I mean, you might be able to slip into Beyonce's DMs with some of your prints.
that would be that would definitely. But yeah, seeing like, having Beyonce, especially in her last album where she had a lot of the music videos and she really incorporated, the Black is King, like she really, like for the Lion King, she really incorporated a lot of African fashion into her videos and like, what she wore and all that stuff like that. So, and then she wears on the red carpet for shoots, for, editorials, all this stuff like that. So it makes me feel happy to see that because, someone that's has such a like big platform and is seen all over the world, representing the African culture and wearing Ankara prints. And then also it gives all these African designers all over the world a chance to be on the big stage like all these other non-African designers. So it makes me happy because when I see her wearing something, Beyonce wearing something, I think, oh, I wonder how that designer that made this dress, like how are they feeling right now. And one other girl, Anima Iris, she has she's based in her brand is made and manufactured in Africa, but Beyonce wears and showcase some of her bags. So they're like, leather bags. And she always shares like that the day that Beyonce wore her bag on Instagram, stuff like that. So if I see other people having big wins and stuff like that, that means like, oh, like, you know, one day it's going to happen for me.
Course, and that's beautifully said. And one thing I wanted to ask you, just coming from a separate perspective, when it comes down to these animal prints, is there symbolism behind the different animals?
So yeah, so that's what I was that's what I was mentioning, that I feel like I need to do a deeper dive into learning like why certain animals are used and stuff like that. So a couple of the ankara prints that we have are I mentioned the jumping horse, you know. So I wonder like what is the significance of the horse? Does it mean, does it symbolize, you know, strength or something? Or and then also there's a rooster, like there's also a rooster use. So I know I need to educate and dive deeper into what they represent. But in the in the animal print world, and a lot of the animal prints that we know, you know, like cheetah print and zebra print and stuff like that, I haven't incorporated that into our line. And I don't know if I will or not, but um, I love to see that that fashion never fades. Like it has its moments where it's booming with the animal prints, and then it kind of fades up, then it comes back. So it's an iconic set of prints for, you know, all things fashion and design and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that in the future the ankara prints will be so here and so like, oh yeah, that's African print, that's ankara print. You know, I'll go to Macy's and Nordstrom and see it all the time. Like, so one day I hope that, you know, that will happen.
And what are some things that you're extremely proud of with your line? Like some fashion prints, maybe some styles that you brought here that you genuinely, being the designer, are so proud to see others wear.
Oh yeah. So I think so our most popular products, which is our sleep bonnets, um they go so fast, and people come like just to buy so many of them. But I'm proud that um it was intended for sleep, but I'm proud to see other, especially healthcare workers, wear it as like scrub caps for work. So they're able to, you know, find other uses for the bonnets as opposed to just, you know, for sleeping, protecting your hair at night. Um, our 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 iconic print, which is the line head print, we're actually working on launching. So we used to have fashion handbags, and they were whenever they're here, people love them, and a lot of people are saying, "When are you going to bring bags back?" For years. So we're actually in the process of bringing fashion bags back, like leather bags that are lined inside with African print. So those should be
That
here.
sounds beautiful. Sorry for disrupting. Maybe I
Yeah,
can wear one
yeah.
too.
So excited. So, you know, a beautiful large like leather travel tote for traveling, lined with African print. So those are coming very soon. So I'm excited for that. I'm happy that for that because I designed the bag from scratch. Like I drew it up. First I had it in my head, drew it up, you know, and then had samples made, and then chose the sample based on, you know, how it turned out. So I'm proud that I made a leather bag, you know, from scratch by myself and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that to launch.
And that's really cool. I could never make a leather bag from scratch by myself. I wish I could. That's amazing. Is there anything specific that you'd like to add about your company where people can even find these prints, check them out, how to contact you?
Yeah, so our line of African print loungewear is available on Nkeoma.com. So that's Nkeoma.com. You can also Google Nkeoma by Ivy and Livy, Ivylivy. And you can find me on Instagram at Nija Goddess. And yeah, hopefully you'll see us on TV, you'll see us in the magazines, you'll see us at the mall.
Hopefully, but I'm really proud of you guys. Good startup. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much for coming on Samana Sheikh TV today to talk to me a little bit about your business and talk to me about the different African prints because this was amazing to learn about that.
Thank you for having me.
All righty, take care. Thank you.